right? But the campaign I'm with her just didn't make me feel as a guy that didn't get to see my dad all the time, like a guy that could play catch with his son. It was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape for me also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Rap Lauren, looks up to American industry guys. Non-political, no bullshit. Put the beep on it, however you want to do it, 5 seconds delay, and just goes in and gets it done.
So, unless you have been basically living under a rock recently, you are probably aware of what has been recently taking place with Kanye West. So, in quick summary, in case you aren't aware of what has recently been happening, during Kanye's Yeezy Season 9 fashion show event in Paris, during his Paris Fashion Week event, he stood beside Candace Owens and he wore a shirt that said, "White Lives Matter." So, of course, this angered a lot of people, and I'm honestly not surprised by how angry people were by any means. When you basically have the audacity to go against the grain, against political correctness, and against the narrative, and when you stand up for God on your platform, you will be targeted and attacked by people on both sides of the political spectrum. Sorry, but that is just a given. I also kind of forgot that nowadays you can't even call yourself a proud Christian anymore. A lot of people are angry by this because of the term White Lives Matter. It points out the obvious. If we are allowed to say things such as Hispanic Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, or Asian Lives Matter, then why can't we say things like White Lives Matter or that all lives matter? Why and how is this offensive? I mean, the fair majority of us have people in our lives that are Caucasian or white. Do they matter to you? Of course. But it's not just Black Lives Matter or White Lives Matter or Hispanic Lives Matter or white or any of that. All lives do matter, and I'm not sure why this is an offensive term to a lot of people. Whenever I ask this question, though, no one knows the answer. Kanye West also exposed the Black Lives Matter movement for what they are, which it is a fraudulent organization. Over 10 Black Lives Matter chapters in metropolitan areas have actually denounced Black Lives Matter for a lack of funding and resources towards urban African American communities. Additionally, as well, many mothers of high-profile people who have been killed by police officers have stated that after that happened to their children, they actually received little to no contact from Black Lives Matter Incorporated. And they are also asking high-profile Black Lives Matter activists to quit using their children's names for political gain. For example, I'm sure all of you probably remember Breonna Taylor's mom when she slammed Black Lives Matter, where she said, "I have never personally dealt with Black Lives Matter Louisville and personally have found them to be a fraud. I could walk in a room full of people who claim to be for Breonna's family who don't even know who I am. I've watched y'all raise money on behalf of Breonna's family who has never done a damn thing for us. Have we needed it or asked so? Talk about fraud." Kanye also rightfully exposed the fact that the Black Lives Matter Foundation has raised $100 million, but what exactly has changed for the African American community? I really want people to ask themselves that. And I don't care what race you are allowed to ask these questions. Isn't it also interesting how Hollywood also claims to care about Black lives unless you challenge the media's narrative or propaganda? Or if you challenge the propaganda in society, Hollywood won't back you up? While the media will try and tell you that the protests during 2020 were fiery but mostly peaceful, and how the KKK was to blame for big cities being up in flames during the 2020 Summer of Fire, actually no. It was African Americans that were lighting up other African American owned businesses, and they were lighting them on fire. I really appreciate, though, how Kanye has focused and how he has really shown us how the media can truly twist our narratives. He even recently got banned off of Twitter and Instagram, which is incredibly interesting, after he posted a screenshot of a Jewish person who basically threatened his life, and he got canceled for stuff that he said. And I'm not gonna lie, maybe he should have like sharpened up what he said, because I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay. But it's Kanye West. I mean, Kanye is going to say controversial things. He doesn't care what people think, and I think we need more people like Kanye West. Also, Kanye really addressed something that I had a hard time wanting to bring up in this video, but he addressed the elite in this country, and a lot of people were very angry about that, and a lot of people were saying, oh, well, these people are Jewish, so why does it matter? People constantly attack rich Christian white men in this country. They also go after and they attack and target and cancel Christianity in general, and no one seems to bat an eye. But if it's any other religion in America, and I'm just going to be honest, there are elites from every single religion in this country. Why can't we talk about the elite in this country? Regardless of religion, why can't we talk about it? No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to sit down and ask those important questions, and that's exactly what Kanye did. I mean, people paint Kanye as insane or crazy, but you can't deny the fact that he speaks the truth. He's true to himself. He's an unapologetic Christian, which is incredible, and it inspires many people like myself to continue speaking out about what we believe in. And frankly, we're not going to stop, and we can talk about whatever we want. Stop trying to silence people and stop trying to say, oh, well, you can't talk about this. Excuse you. I can talk about whatever I want. Kanye can talk about whatever he wants. But one thing is a lot of people don't understand this, but freedom of speech, basically, does it exist anymore? I want you to ask yourself that question. Does freedom of speech exist in this country anymore? Ask yourself that question, because I'm not going to answer it for you. Do your own research. Wake up. The piece of advice that I would like to give is to everyone, regardless of what generation you come from. Just because you're offended does not mean you're right, and just because you're offended does not mean you're a good person. I hate to break it to you. People have a right to say what they want to say, and you might not agree with it, but there are issues in this country that we need to talk about, and for far too long there have been people who have shied away from certain conversations or from certain topics because they're afraid. Why are you afraid? If you're afraid to speak out, are your beliefs really that important to you? To end this video, I wanted to read through some scripture because we glorify God here on Unfiltered. The scripture that I'm going to be reading today comes out of the book of 1 Peter, and we're going to be reading 1 Peter 13 to 17. Be subject for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether it be to the emperor as supreme or to governors as sent by him, to punish those who do evil and to praise those who do good. For this is the will of God, that by doing good you should put to silence the ignorance of foolish people. Live as free people who are free, not using your freedom as a cover-up for evil, but living as servants of God. Honor everyone, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the emperor. And I think this is really important to bring up because a lot of people this past year have just shied away from telling the truth because they're afraid to say what they want to say. And a lot of people just allowed the government to take over everything these past 2 years. And we need more people in office who are devout Christians and who are proud of their faith. We need more people in office who are not afraid to tell the truth. And there are certain topics in this country that we need to talk about. We can't shy away from talking about them. We can't push them aside anymore. We are losing our country. And we need to start standing strong and standing up. Do you really think the left cares if they offend us? No. Jesus spoke so much truth that he was literally crucified and persecuted because of the truth that he spoke. He spoke the truth, and people were so angry by it that they couldn't handle it. So remember that you're not the only person that has lost friends or has lost things. Jesus lost everything when he spoke the truth. He was crucified for doing so. But anyway, that's all for me. My name is Kyra Bowlby. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Unfiltered. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that you check the description box down below. You can follow me on social media. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Truth Social. Those links are posted down below. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, where I talk about philosophy, faith, culture, politics, current events, all of that. So make sure you just check out the links down below. But anyway, that's all for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode, and I'll see you next time. And from Colorado, God bless and take care.